Starting now. Okay. And we should be live. Also, let me mute my phone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the custom card review. I'm everyone's fifth favorite custom card reviewer, TheDuelLogs. As you all know, there are 4 other custom card reviewers who will also stream at the exact same time. This is why I do this. Also, I just realized someone posted in chat that Ina's outfit reveal is starting at the same time as this. I thought it was in 3 hours, not now. It's too late. It's too late to reschedule this. I'm not going to reschedule it just to watch Ina's outfit reveal live. I'll just watch the VOD. But I'm very sad that I got the times wrong. You're my 4.5 favorite though? Yeah, well, okay, you're a liar, but it's really nice that you feel the need to lie. You know, the rankings are very objective. You know, there's the custom card reviewer ranking list. I'm always squarely at number 5. Sometimes I drop to 6, but I always go back up to 5. I never go up though. Never above 5. I just can't beat, you know, the Purple Eyes Dark Magician custom card reviewer. He has that kind of natural charisma, the energy that I just can't match. Yeah, I have your stream and hers live at the same time. Yeah, I'm so sad I'm gonna miss it because there's so many freaking cards. Oops. I really, I don't cuss in my videos because I script those. When it comes to streams though, it's really hard to not do it. So anyways, there was a lot of cards. The theme for this, I forgot to set up a ticker for this. But the theme for this is making Gemini cards workable. Here's the problem with Geminis. With Geminis. Let's clear this out. Let's open up Edo Pro. For those of you who probably don't have the encyclopedic Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge that I do, let's explain what Geminis are. First let's go Elemental Hero Neos Alias. Right here, Elemental Hero Neos Alias on the right. Who's the first 4 to 5, 1 to 5? Here, I'll show you. You want to see the custom card rankings? Thanks for the super chat, Contrast Brass. $5 for my 5th favorite card reviewer. Also, I have been really confused for about 18 years. Need to know, what does Pot of Greed do? I don't know, actually. I think it allows you to excavate the top 2 cards of your deck and then pick 2 of them and add them to your hand. Something like that. Yeah, it has 80. That's so many. There's so many. There was more for this than for the overpowered cards. And there's so many good ones, too. So. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, who were the first 1 to 4? Right. Let me show you who the other, submit text, hours I work text, text scrolling, card rankings. Ah, here it is. I gotta put it above chat. These are the rankings of the custom card reviews. As you can see, I'm squarely at number 5, right below House of Kaijus. Oops. I should let you know, I have dogs. They're very quiet. Occasionally, they might bark a little bit. Okay, so. Let me explain what Geminis are. Geminis are a series of monsters where they're given a monster type, kind of like Spirit. Red Arrow or Union monsters. This used to be something they did in the early days of the game when they had a new archetype. Like, it's literally in the type itself. Warrior Gemini effect. They don't do this anymore, but they used to do this a lot for like new types of monsters they were releasing. So, what Geminis do is they're treated as normal monsters while on the field or in the graveyard. But not in the hand or deck. They're effect monsters, full effect monsters in your hand or in the deck. And they're just treated as normal monsters, and they don't gain their effect unless they're normal summoned an additional time on the field, where they then gain their effect, which is usually marked by a little, whatever this is called. And this one's effect is that its name just becomes Elemental Hero Neos. You know, they all have really minor effects. But the thing that sucks about them is the fact that you have to give up another normal summon to activate their effects. Because your normal summon is super valuable in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you know, negating your opponent's normal summon is really good because of how strong normal summons are. Yeah, I could give some examples, but I don't need to. So that's kind of the inherent design flaw. A lot of Gemini decks revolve around trying to, you know, cheat out that extra normal summon required to give them their effects. But the problem is you always need to use an extra card so they can use their effects. And their effects are never good enough where it's worth putting the effort in. A bullet point, I think? Yeah. For example, Elemental Hero Neos Alias. His effect. This card's name becomes Elemental Hero Neos while on the field. This is easily the best Gemini monster in the game. And you know why? Because it's an elemental hero. It has nothing to do with the Gemini status. It has nothing to do with its effect. In fact, the effect is never used. And this is easily the best elemental hero monster in the game. We've seen the most amount of play. This should show you, you know, just how bad Geminis are. Part of the reason it's not played is because it's also a high attack level 4 elemental hero who's also light. So it was really good in shiny gate decks and could be comboed with Honest. And turned into an Ina stream when she goes live. It's searchable, nothing else. And it's also a target for Gemini Spark, which is like one of the only good pieces of Gemini support. Here, I'll show you what that is. Gemini Spark, right here. Tribute a face-up level 4 Gemini monster. Target one card in the field, destroy it, and if you do, draw one card. Quick play spell. 5th best, by the way. Yeah, 1900 attack. I think he's the highest attack level 4 Elemental Hero too, which is hilarious. That's just the state of Gemini cards. So, with that little introduction out of the way, let's go over how do we fix Gemini cards. Right here at number 1, we have the first Gemini. This one would probably do it. This is really good. So first off, it's a Link 1 monster. Link 1 monsters, I think, are kind of broke. Like, Link 1 monsters shouldn't exist. They're too strong. And this is a really good example of that. Let's move this out of the way. Its requirements is just 1 level 4 or lower Gemini monster. You can only link summon 1 the first Gemini per turn. This card's original attack is equal to combine levels of Gemini monsters you control and in your graveyard times 100. Gemini monsters you control are treated as effect monsters and they gain their effects. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Gemini monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. If a cards you would control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, including at least 1 Gemini monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So, here's what's good about this card. First up, it's a Link 1 monster that grants all of your Gemini monsters their effects immediately. Super useful. It would be an auto-include all Gemini decks, if that's even a thing, based on that alone, because it's also really easy to bring out. The ability to gain attack and stuff is nice, you know, it's great, at least it won't die that easily. But the important thing is giving them the effects immediately. This would allow you to do the Gigaplant loops. I'm just reminded, Gigaplant is actually kind of broken. Let me show you something real quick. I lied. Gemini Neos Alias isn't the best Gemini card. It's actually Gigaplant. Gigaplant. So, Gigaplant is a level 6 Gemini monster who has the effect that if it's a Gemini monster, once per turn, you can special summon an insect or plant monster from your hand or graveyard. This effect is a soft once per turn. So, it itself is a plant. It can special summon other copies of itself. If you have like 3 Gigaplants in the grave, you special summon one of them, its effect is active, you can special summon the other one. And then because it's a Gemini monster, that kind of stops the loop. However, if it immediately grants the effect with like a card like the first Gemini, you can then use it to bring out the other one, who can then bring out the third one, and then you can pull up a whole bunch of loops. So, this card's really good, and I think Gigaplant is the reason why they don't really make Gemini support. Lone Fire into Gigaplant, the normal summon Gigaplant? Yeah, exactly. Illblood, I think. Illblood is not as good as Gigaplant. Because I think Illblood was like designed competently, because they knew it would be looped. It's a soft once per turn, yes. Very soft. And also, Special summon a Gemini monster to the zone this card points to, just like Link Spider. And graveyard effect to protect your Gemini monsters if it ever hits the graveyard. This is so good. It's like the best one on here. I have so many cards to review that I'm not going to do the normal rating system because it takes too long. So we'll just start off. This is a 10 out of 10. Super good. Kind of broken. Would probably get banned because of Gigaplant. Next card. Gemini Dryfer. Hopefully you want to see my face reveal? You want to see my face reveal? Okay, I'll do a face reveal. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Hello, it is me, TheDuelLogs. I am a 300-pound spider with 8 legs and 8 eyeballs. I'm sorry you had to see me in this way. I will go now so that we can review Gemini cards.
Okay, no more face reveals. So, Gemini Drafer. This is a level 4 Gemini monster. This card is treated as a normal monster while on the field or in the graveyard. While it's face up on the field, you can normal summon it to be treated as an effect monster with this effect. Once per turn, if your opponent controls no face-up spell or traps, you can draw cards equal to the number of face-up Gemini monsters you control. So, really good. It has a condition where your opponent can't have any face-up spell or traps, which is something you're going to run into a lot when you're going against modern meta decks. There are some that use face-up spell or traps. There's even, like, all floodgates are basically a face-up spell or trap. But being able to draw cards equal to the number of face-up Gemini monsters, it itself counts as one. So if you get its Gemini effect off, you get to draw at least one card. And if you have a whole bunch of Geminis on the field, like maybe Gigaplant loops, you can draw a whole bunch of cards. This might be a little bit busted even. It even has a condition. I love it. I love it when they're given ridiculously strong effects, but they're conditional. Like you need to have Gemini monsters. It itself counts as one, sure. It's only a soft once per turn. Okay, soft. That's a little bit broke. It's already broken though. Like, it's really good. This is the kind of support Geminis need to see play. But then again, no, that's just straight up. This is the kind of support they need because they're so bad. Next up, Gemini Marikai. Warrior Tuner, level 4. This card is treated as a normal monster face up on the field or in the graveyard. Normal summon it to be treated as an effect. Once per turn, if you control less cards than your opponent, you can special summon Gemini monsters from your graveyard equal to the difference, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. This is great. It's conditional. Your opponent, yeah, it's again soft once per turn. It kind of reminds me of Excite-A-Night. You guys remember Excite-A-Night? I would just assume everyone doesn't have every single card in the game memorized like I do. I'll show you. Excite-A-Night. So, Excite-A-Night has a really strong effect. So strong it was banned for a bit. Where you can detach a material to destroy all other cards on the field. However, your opponent takes no more damage for the rest of the turn, and it only has 1900 attack. It's generic materials. However, you can only use it if your opponent controls more cards than you do. So you can't use it to, like, you know, establish... Well, you can use it to establish a board. It's like you can't be ahead when you use it. You have to be behind. It's specifically something you can only use when you're behind. And it's really good, but it did have some semblance of balance, even if it did eventually get banned anyway. I like it. I like cards like that. This is great. The effect is obviously strong. However, you have to be behind to use it, which I think is fine. It is only a soft once per turn. It is ridiculously strong, but these are Gemini cards. They need to do this. They need this help. Next card. Oh wait. Oh yeah, these are really out of order. So, it doesn't matter. This is a rank 4 Gemini support card. Yeah, or going second. Yeah, it's really great for going second. Baby Zeus. Wait, what does this all have to do with Geminites? Geminis, not Geminites. This one is called Zoenuichizaridi. Nailed it. It requires 2 level 4 Gemini monsters as materials. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have become an effect with this effect. I love giving the Gemini effect to extra deck monsters. I don't know how that would work, but it just does, I guess. Soft once per turn is what Geminis need. Yeah, just like Gigaplant. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Once per turn, you can detach a material, destroy all cards your opponent controls. If the detach Xyz material was originally a Gemini or a Zerati monster, this card gains that monster's effects as if it was an effect monster until the end phase. So, this is really good. It's kind of like Zeus, except harder to bring out, which is crazy that a card like that exists. It cannot be targeted by card effects. That's great protection. The effect is appropriately strong for having 2 Gemini monsters as its materials. If it was generic, I'd be like, yeah, it's a little bit too much. But since it's Gemini monsters, totally fine. And also it gains the effect of a Gemini monster that it detaches. There aren't really strong level 4 Gemini monsters who you could really break with this effect. I'm trying to think. I have every Gemini monster effect memorized, and none of them are coming in to my brain as being broken with this. It'd have to be something new. They're all fine. None of the level 4 ones anyways. Some of the level 2 ones special summon cards from the deck, but it's, you know, that'd be harder to use. Not impossible, just harder. And you also can't use Gigaplant with it. 99% of people doesn't understand extra deck monster rulings. Well, I mean, sure, you can't normal summon an extra deck monster. However, if the effect says you do something, then it happens. It doesn't really matter what the rules are. You know, effect monsters are not normal monsters, but normal monster support works on Gemini monsters because the effect says it does. You see where I'm coming from? Zeus sends as well. You can't tub with custom cards that are balanced. Yeah, Zeus is a... It's funny that card exists. I love it. Next card. Oh, here's it. So this is the one that's... This is really good art. I don't know if this is custom. It's probably from an anime or video game. Okay, so this isn't a Gemini monster, but it is Gemini support. Zoe Zarade. Psychic level 4. You can target 1 Gemini monster you control. Special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, that target becomes an effect monster and gains its effect. So, that's great. It's a level 4 monster that can special summon itself from your hand by turning a Gemini monster into an effect monster. This is excellent Gemini support because it gives you a monster on the field to use as a material, while also giving you a beneficial effect, which limits it from being generic to non-Gemini decks. During your main phase, you can target 1 Gemini monster in your graveyard. This card gains the target's effects as if it was an effect monster and is treated as a Gemini monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, that's a little strong. This would be too good with Gigaplant. Yeah, I always have to think of Gigaplant now. Like, would this break Gigaplant? Yeah. Yeah, part of the reason Gigaplant is fine is because it's a Gemini monster. This is really good Gigaplant support. You need a continuous, non-destructible spell card that treats Gemini monsters as effect monsters to start fixing the problem. No. There's better solutions to that, actually, Spasms. Better solutions that people sent in. I'll show you. Okay, this is way too strong. Yeah, it is. It's great. It doesn't seem very strong until you remember Gigaplant exists. Then you're like, oh yeah, this is broken. Next up, the long wait for the end. I love this card. This one has a really strong effect balanced by the fact that it's a Gemini monster. So, it's a pendulum card, 3100 defense. While in the pendulum zone, you can only pendulum summon level 6 monsters. This effect cannot be negated. If a card with a different type is in your other pendulum zone, you can special summon this card from your pendulum zone. This is the important part of it, because the effect, it's normal monster on the field, blah blah blah, pendulum. Gemini cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. During the standby phase, send the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. That's a little too strong. Like, this card is a pendulum. I like the idea about how this Gemini monster does his thing. Like, it's in the pendulum zone and it can special summon itself, which frees up your normal summon, which means you can immediately Gemini summon it to gain the effect, where it can't be targeted or destroyed, and then during each of the standby phase, during the standby phase, just both of them? Oh, that's too strong. I didn't recognize that. Send the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. That's, it's not once per turn, so if you get 3 of these out, that's 30 cards. It is 100 over the normal beaters, yeah. This is super strong, ridiculously overpowered mill support. Here's the baseline for mill. Mill is an archetype that I'm very familiar with. Let me show you a popular mill card, which was on the ban list for like the longest time. This card is called Necroface. Necroface has the effect. We'll ignore the first effect, but the second effect is the important one. If this card is banished, each player banishes 5 cards from the top of their deck. So, this is a 5-card banish, and it's both players' decks. And only if this card itself is banished, which is not the hardest thing to do in the world, but it's more difficult than sending it to the graveyard. And it was too good at mill, so it was limited to 2 copies. Part of the reason was because if you just banished all 3 copies from your deck, that's 15 cards from your opponent's deck, which is about half. Assuming a 40-card opening hand and they draw 6, that takes it down to, 34, and then 15 is about half of that. Then you only have to mill like the other 17 cards, 19 cards, I think. And it was incredibly powerful, especially, I don't think it was limited because of Infernal Tempest, but that was probably a consideration. So here is this combo that existed back in the day, which is going to make you guys laugh when you see the main combo piece of it. There's this unknown card you guys probably never heard of called something Golem. Grinder Golem. Grinder Golem allows you to special summon this card to your opponent's side of the field, and then you get 2 tokens out of it who are in attack position and have 0 attack. If you had one of these 0 attack tokens attack into Grinder Golem, you could take 3,000 points of battle damage, which would allow you to activate Infernal Tempest, which would allow you to banish all monsters from both players' decks and graveyard. If you had 3 copies of Necroface in your deck, that's an additional 15 cards. The average deck has around 20 monsters in it. So, if you banished around 20 monsters with Infernal Tempest, and then an additional 15 from 3 Necrofaces, that's 35 cards. And you draw 5 for your opening hand, so that's an instant deck out. I'm not saying that's the whole reason Necroface was semi-limited to 2, but I have to imagine that's one of the reasons. And that was the only use of Grinder Golem before Master Rule 4. Which is why it was so funny when I found Grinder Golem being used for something outside of the Inferno Tempest combo. So, all that to say, the long wait for end, 10 cards is too much. I love it though. Excellent card. Next up, Gemini Magician. Level 5. Oh, excuse me. Okay, just a reminder, I have some dogs. They're very quiet. You can barely hear them. Occasionally they might bark a little bit. So, level 5, 1900 attack. This card shows no monster face up on the field, blah, blah, blah. Normal summon it, become an effect monster. You can pay 500 life points, special summon 1 Gemini monster from your deck. And if you do, it gains its effects. You can only use this effect of Gemini Magician Girl once per turn. Really good. Really good generic support. OP, it's level 5. I think the fact that it's level 5 makes it fine. That's exactly what Geminis need. Next up, Starlight Age Fluta. Okay, so this one brings up an interesting concept that a lot of people were playing around with. So, this card's effect. It's a Gemini. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While it's a normal monster, you can normal summon it to become an effect monster with this effect. You can special summon one of these cards from your hand or graveyard with a different attribute. It's treated as an effect monster and gains its effect, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except Gemini monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn on the field. Okay, so that effect is fine, you know, within whatever archetype this was. I think I only pulled one card from it because there was just so many cards sent in. However, what's interesting about this is this first line right here. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Now, Gemini monsters are effect monsters while they're in your hand. Or in your deck. So there's no reason they can't have an effect while in your hand, because they're only treated as normal monsters while in the field or graveyard. And I think this would be a really good way to make Gemini monsters more not lame, is by just giving them a hand effect. Especially one which just lets you special summon from your hand, and then you can use your normal summon to give it its effect on the field. So it can special summon itself, becomes a normal monster, then you can normal it straight away if you special summon it. I'm a detective, exactly. I think that's a good idea. There's going to be more of them like this. Actually, Gemini Elf. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field, in the deck, or in the graveyard. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon one Gemini monster from your hand or graveyard, except this card. See, this one goes a little bit farther. It also treats it as a normal monster while in the deck, which means you can bring it out with normal monster support from the deck. Yeah, hand trap Geminis, exactly. That's how you make Geminis better. Just give them hand traps effects. Adding on the thing with the normal monster in the deck, they should be normal monsters in the deck too. That would open up so much more support for them. But that's not generally how they work. What I am interested in is the fact this one also has a hand effect as well. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a Gemini monster from your hand or graveyard. So if you have this card in your hand, you can just bring out a Gemini monster from your graveyard. And then if it has an effect on the field, this card can attack twice during each battle phase. This card inflicts battle damage. Discard one random card from your opponent's hand. So it's kind of like the Toon Gemini Elves effect. Although the double attack thing... Is this from a Gemini Elf, like, spell card, I think? I don't know. I think that might just be added on, but I have the feeling that there's probably something Gemini Elf related that allows them to attack twice. I know the random card thing is their Toon effect. The ranking of favorite custom card rankings is up to individual people. Yeah, unexpected die. So you can special summon any Gemini, so you can normal summon the Gemini you summon. Exactly. You can do any type better by doing them hand traps. Would be broken in Gemini decks if they were normal monsters in the deck. It would make them more playable. You still wouldn't be able to use it on Gigaplant, so it'd be fine. Now this is degenerate. It's from the Toon version. I know the discard effect is from the Toon version, but the attack twice effect? I don't know where that's from. Because there's two elves? That makes sense. I feel like there's a support card that has them in the art that has something to do with attacking twice. And I can't remember what it is. I know there's one which negates the effects of cards during the battle phase that has them on it, but it doesn't have anything to do with attacking twice. I think it's just because there's two of them. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, next one. Genimi Warped Warwolf. I like this one. It's basically like the same as the other. It's a normal monster while in the deck. It has a hand effect, and if it's a normal summon with its effect, if a Gemini monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you can banish one monster in your graveyard. That Gemini monster immediately gains its effect. So it just allows you to give your other Gemini monsters effects, but requires materials, which doesn't make it broken. So, Anyways, this hand effect, if a Gemini monster you control attacks or is attacked, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. That monster gains 2,000 attack until the end phase. I love this. This basically turns it into a Kalut. A Kalut, there's a difference between Kalut and honest-like effects. Honest effects have like a set value. Kalut effects give attack equal to the monster's attack. Since this one has 2,000 attack, and it gives 2,000 attack, it's a Kalut-like effect. If it gave a non-standard amount, like double or like 500, then it'd be an honest-like effect. This was from the movie, was it? Double summon, that was from the movie. Toon rollback, I believe. I know Toon rollback can allow to attack twice. Immediately on this card. The name is pretty weak. G-Ni-Me Warped Warwolf. Anyways, I love Kalut-like effects. I'm a big fan of Kalut. I always was. That's why I put it in my video on the best honest-like effects, and then people complained that Kalut was never usable. And I was like, you guys just don't understand the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kalut was such a problem, it was semi-limited. And I think it was only recently that people finally understood the power of Kalut. And I feel vindicated. Okay, next up. This is really good Synchro Monster support. You're my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. I only watch 2 other people, and your favorite custom card reviewer, as the other 2 I don't watch don't do these videos. What? But there's like 10 other custom card reviews. Will this be a video or not? Sure, why not? Okay, next up. Gaia Knight, the Force of Gemini. This requires 1 tuner, plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. It's a level 8. For this card synchro summon, you can treat 1 Gemini monster on your field as a tuner. Nice. This card is treated as a non-effect monster while in the extra deck, and as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. Whoa. That's heavy. It feels like that would cause some kind of rulings confusion, but maybe not, I don't know. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon to have an effect. If you normal summon a Gemini monster, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your deck. That's super good. So, if you normal summon a Gemini monster, you can special summon a Gemini monster from your deck. It's not once per turn. So if you have a way to get out a whole bunch of normal summons, or just have your Gemini, does this count Gemini summons as well? Busted? Yeah, it's super good. It's ridiculously good. I'm a Gemini in my horoscope. I think someone made a Gemini horoscope card. How do you normal summon a synchro? The same way you normal summon the level 5 monsters. You just say, hey, I'm Gemini summoned in it. And poof, you do it. Not even hard once per turn. Not even a soft once per turn. Double summon. Fist of the Unrivaled 10-Yi. Yeah, I love how it's a non-effect monster. So it's a Fist of the Unrivaled 10-Yi target. While it's on the field, it's treated as a normal monster. I know this is a synchro monster, so how can it be treated as a normal monster? Well, how are effect monsters treated as normal monsters? Like, the card says it is, so it is. That's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. If a card says it does something, then it does it. Next one, Gemini Chalice, continuous spell card. All Gemini monsters in the field gain 300 attack and defense. The first time a Gemini monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. Gemini monsters on your deck are treated as normal monsters in your deck. So, the first 2 effects, pretty minor stuff. Can't be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, gains minor attack boost. However, Gemini monsters in your deck are treated as normal monsters. Holy crap, that's really good. I like this. It basically grants them all normal monster distinction so that they work with normal monster support. However, since it's tied to a really hard to search out continuous spell card, I think it would be fine. It's not easy to search this card out. Next one, Gemini HARP. If you control a Gemini monster that has an effect, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then its Gemini effect, declare a number from 1 to 4, this card's name becomes at level. and is treated as a tuner. If you synchro summon a monster other than Gemini Porous using this card as material, that synchro monster returns the extract during the end phase. So basically, it's a level 2 Gemini monster that can special summon itself from your hand if you control a Gemini monster. And then if it becomes a Gemini monster with its effect, you can change its level from 1 to 4. Again, this is just another one where it's great how a big fix to Gemini monsters is just to give them a hand effect, because they are effect monsters in the hand. So having a hand effect seems like it makes sense. Next one, Link Monster. So, there's a difference between normal monsters and non-effect monsters. There is a difference. There are, like, normal monster support doesn't work on non-effect monsters unless they're a normal monster. However, non-effect monster support works on all normal monsters. You know, it's like one way or the other. So, Phoenix Chevalier. 2 monsters, including a Gemini monster. Gains 200 attack and defense for each fire monster on the field. It already has a really high attack for a Link 2 card. And it gains an additional 200. This is, the stats are a little bit high. If a Gemini monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, it becomes an effect monster and gains its effect. Whoa. If a Gemini monster you control is destroyed, you can add a Gemini monster with a different name from your deck to your, or graveyard to your hand for each of those destroyed monsters. Whoa. You can only use this effect once per turn. Hard once per turn. Link 3? Oh, I didn't even notice that. I don't know how the hell I missed that it's a Link 3 monster. Yeah, you're right. I just completely missed that. For a Link 3 monster, that's fine. I was like, 2,500, that's really high for a Link 2. Usually they cap out at 2,000. Sometimes they go above, but most times they don't. Yeah, I don't know how I missed it. Like, there's an arrow right there. It says Link 3. Just smooth brain moment. So, as a Link 3 monster, this is great. It's excellent support. It's not as broken as a Link 1 from the beginning of the stream. It's a lot more reasonable. It actually supports using your Gemini monsters to do stuff because it replaces them if they're destroyed. Excellent Gemini support. This one is a Link 4 monster. See, I actually know this. I didn't get this one confused. So, 2+ monsters, including a Gemini monster. Any Gemini monsters linked to this card becomes effect monsters and gains their effects. Whoa, Giga Plant loops. If your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, you can target one Gemini monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Whoa. Kind of like a True Draco effect. When a card effect is activated that targets a monster on the field, quick effect, you can destroy one face-up Gemini monster you control, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect of Phoenix Sorcerer once per turn. So I guess this combos with the Link 3, where you can search a card with the destruction. It's good. Definitely. I'm not sure if it would be necessary though. It seems a little bit hard to bring out. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's really good and I'm just overwhelmed by how good it is to the point where it's kind of going over to a maybe it's too much category. Giga Plant Loop. Yeah, everything just makes me think Giga Plant Loop. It's like next up, Warp Digivolution, Dinosaur Gemini. This card destroys normal monster while facing on the field or in the graveyard. Normal summon to gain its effect. Quick effect. You contribute one level 3 or lower monster to special summon one level 4 or higher monster of the same type and attribute from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use this effect of Warp Digivolution once per turn. Ignoring its summoning conditions. That's a tough one. I'm trying to think, how does ignoring summoning conditions work on monsters from the deck? I think if you ignore the summoning conditions of a card, you can do it from the deck, no problem. It's the graveyard where you have problems. Like, you can't ignore the summoning conditions of a card in the graveyard unless it's been properly summoned first. But I think you can ignore the summoning conditions of a card in the deck without properly summoning it first. Because it gets reset once it goes back to the deck. So, basically, if you want to cheat out Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 to negate all spell effects, you would just need to get out a Fire Dragon monster who's level 3 or lower, like Poke Draco. And then you get a Horus, which is super good. However, I'm not sure if that would work. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does. Like, Level Up does that. Like, a wild monster appears as from the hand, though. A Level Up is from the deck. I think this works. I think you can use it to bring out Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8. Easy Venominaga? Yeah, it would be an easy Venominaga, too. Venominaga is probably a really good card to use with it. Can bring out UTC, ignoring some conditions, a Lamal, Ultimate Conductor. No, what is UTC? That's not Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, is it? What would be the best card with this? Does it mean it can ritual summon monsters? Oh shit, I don't know. Does it work on ritual monsters too? Imagine a Halaktai if it's ever imported. I don't know if it would work on Halaktai, but it might. Art from Digimonsters. You contribute itself to special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah, that would that'd be a really good use of the card, just right off the bat. Double Evolution Pill, which can already do that, yeah. What's the music's name? This music is called Pollyanna Maxium, Dark Moment. Pollyanna? Oh yeah, Pollyanna Maxium, Dark Moment. Broken Extender, Amaterasu, Level Up, Nature of Bamboo Shoot. Bamboo Shoot. Halaktai would require level 3 or lower, Divine Creator God. Oh yeah, I guess that doesn't work. I guess it's fine from a Halaktai. Does it work on Zushin? I don't see why not. Yeah, this card is, you know, a great way to make Gemini's more useful is just to give them broken ass effects like this. This is great. Okay, next up. Demon Slayer of Thunder Breathing, Zenitsu Agatatsu. Agatsum. No. Is it Agatsuma? Or Agatsum? Yeah, it's Agatsuma. Okay, I don't know why I messed it up. It's pronounced the same way. UCT, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Oh, okay, UCT is Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I miss the days when Gemini Soldier was a staple in Gemini decks. Was there ever a Gemini deck? Was that ever a thing? Okay, so Gemini monster stuff. If this card is Gemini summoned, this card's type is also treated as Thunder. This card cannot be targeted by card effects. Twice per turn quick effect, you can pay half your life points, and if you do, you can move this card to an unoccupied monster zone. Min 1. Also, if this card attacks, this card's attack and defense is doubled times the number of cards in the column that this card is in. Doubled times? I'm not sure if that's how you would word it, but I get what he means. At the end of the damage step, destroy all cards your opponent controls in the column this card is in. At the end of the turn, this card's attack and defense is reduced to 0 until the end turn. It's kind of like Yajiro Invader, except one that you can control. Copyright for Zenitsu. You guys don't need to worry about copyright with this. 2 card types equals busted. Basically, it can move itself over to another zone. It can gain a ridiculous amount of attack by just like, you know, if you move over to a zone and there's 3 other cards in it, its attack goes up by, wait. Let me see. I think there's one more attack increase. Twice per turn, pay half your life points, move this card over. If it attacks, its attack and defense is double times the number of cards in the column. At the end of the damage step, destroy all the cards in your opponent's controls in the column as this card. Okay. So, you pay half your life points, move it over to a zone, and then attack. And if there's 3 cards in it, his attack goes up to like 4,000, I think, if I'm getting this correct. And then after the attack, it destroys all like the spell or trap card that was also in the column. And then at the end of the turn, his attack and defense go to 0. And he can do it twice. But he can't attack twice. Can he? Twice per turn, you can pay half your life points. If you do, move this card to a zone. Also, if this card attacks. Okay, so you can use it twice, it's just you wouldn't really want to. Because the column-based effects only work after an attack. Then it becomes 8,000. Row mechanics never. Columns, very original. No copyright. Well, that changes things. 1 times 2, 2 times 3, 8,000. It becomes 8,000. Oh, okay. 8,000 is pretty good. At the end of the damage step, destroy all cards your opponent controls in the column. Oh yeah, so there's no reason to use it twice, I guess. Unless your opponent is also moving cards. Yeah, that's if you're going against a... there's not too many decks that do it, but there are some that can also move their cards around too. You're not a spider, you use that image just because you don't want people to comment on your actual face. What, you guys didn't see my face? I am an actual spider. Here, I'll show it again. Boop, boop. See? Did you just see it? Does it beat Goku? No, Goku destroys this thing. Goku claps. Well, I mean, I guess technically it depends on whose turn it is. Next card. Red Eyes Wonder Tree. Oh, I didn't even notice this was a Red Eyes. Huh. What an interesting collage of images. Okay, so this is an actual Link 2 card. I'm not crazy this time. Requires 2 Gemini and or normal monsters except tokens. This card is treated as normal monster while facing on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have an effect. With this effect, you can special summon up to 2 Gemini monsters from your deck. Also, all Gemini monsters you currently control become effect monsters. And you gain the effects of all Gemini monsters you control. You can only use this effect once per turn. 2 Gemini monsters from the deck. Holy shit, that's super good. All Gemini monsters you control become effect monsters and gain their effects. But you have to use the effect. So you bring out 2 Gemini monsters and they can immediately use their effects. It's a plant monster, so it works with Gigaplant loops. Was this made for Gigaplants? Your face is pretty as your voice. Shouldn't use Yu-Gi-Oh! Spider as your face reveal, but I guess you don't want people to comment on your face or your face taken away with you. Why don't you believe that I'm a 300-pound spider? Would I lie about my face reveal? Okay, so this card's bonkers. Next one. Gum Yocho. So you go +5. I mean, it's so good with Gemini, with Gigaplant. Because it's just any 2 Gemini monsters. This would be broken if it was added to the game. Gigaplant loop, exactly. This one's interesting. This is a Gemini spirit monster. So, cannot be special summoned. This card is treated as a normal monster while on the field or the graveyard. While this card is on the field, you can normal summon it to have an effect, to be treated as an effect monster with these effects. You can normal summon / set any number of monsters. Bullet point number 2. You must pay 500 life points to special summon non-spirit, non-Gemini monsters. Bullet point number 3. During the end phase, return this card to your hand. So, you can normal summon / set any number of monsters. But you have to pay 500 life points if you want to special summon non-spirit, non-Gemini monsters. So, cannot be special summoned. Has to be normal summoned twice. Would that be enough for this broken effect? Would that be enough for this card to not get banned immediately? Ultimate Offering on steroids? Yeah, it's Ultimate Offering on steroids. If you try to combo off of this, you also need to have a bunch of life points. So like normal summon a whole bunch isn't useful unless you're using those normal summons to go into extra deck plays. Like, for example, the gadgets. Green gadget searches out red gadget, who searches out yellow gadget, who searches out green gadget. So that's 9 monsters. They're like an excellent example of what you can do with Ultimate Offering. I think even Madolches make use of it a lot as well, but during your opponent's turn. So if you use the gadget cards and go through 9 cards and use those for extra deck plays, 500 life points, yeah, someone said in chat, that's not enough. This needs to be like 1,000 for it to be a real detriment. Because this effect is broke, but the restrictions on this, it's a spirit and a Gemini monster. I like the idea behind it. It's just the downside is not enough. You just double the life point cost, that might be enough. It would be... I think that would probably work. Like, this is more of a case of, like, how could you give enough restrictions to the Ultimate Offering effect for it to not be broken? A Spirit Gemini monster? Who punishes you for special summoning non-Spirit, non-Gemini cards? Maybe. It doesn't prevent Gigaplant loops, that's for sure. I don't know. This one is interesting. This would be a good one for my overpowered card segment. Overpowered but believable. I feel like you would still see play outside of Spirit decks. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, Spirit decks don't need this card. Spirit decks are all about their rituals. Gemini decks don't exist. This would not be used in Spirit or Gemini decks, because those aren't... Gemini decks aren't a thing, and Spirit decks revolve around their ritual cards. Interesting. Oh, I will say, now that I'm thinking about Spirit decks, yeah, this, let me show you. So, what are they called? Peacock? Maybe they're Rene fans like I am. So, Shino Baroness Peacock. Blah, blah, blah. You can shuffle up to 3 spell and traps your opponent controls into the deck. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower spirit monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So, Peacock can allow you to bring out Gumyocho, and then gain an unlimited amount of normal summons. I kind of forgot that Peacock allows you to cheat out spirit monsters from the deck. Next card. Vegan Man-Eater Bug. So, it's an insect Gemini. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is face up on the field, you can normal summon it to be treated as an effect monster. Gains this effect. Target one monster on the field destroyed. What's funny about this card is you can't use its effect. Which is the joke of it being vegan, I guess. Oh, that's great Yu-Gi-Oh jokes. So, potential release. This one's obviously based on Gemini Spark. Send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon a level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your deck with a different name than the sent monster as an effect monster that gains its effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon a Gemini monster from your hand as an effect monster that gains its effect. You can only use its effect once per turn. So, excellent card. It allows you to, this will just be really good support for Gemini decks that focus on level 4s. So, basically, you just ditch a card in your hand to the graveyard to bring out 1 from the deck, and then it's an effect monster immediately, and it's only level 4 or lower, which means no Gigaplant loops. And then you can banish this card from the graveyard to special summon any Gemini monster from your hand, and it gains its effect immediately, which does mean Gigaplant loops, but it's not as powerful as bringing out Gigaplant from the deck, which can already be done with Lone Fire Blossom. This one is good and balanced. Yeah, it's pretty great. Next one, Gemini Ambush. Quick play spell card. This one might be a little bit broken, but let's go over it anyway. Excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. Send all excavated Gemini monsters to the graveyard. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you do, apply one of the following effects according to the number of cards sent to the graveyard. 0. Shuffle this card into the deck, then draw 1 card. Basically, Upstart Goblin. If you don't play any Gemini cards, which is why this card is a little bit too strong. Next one. Select 1 face-up Gemini monster and treat it as an effect monster. Okay. Effect number 2. Special summon 1 Gemini monster from your graveyard and treat it as an effect monster. Okay. Effect number 3. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Is that Ojama Lime? That is Ojama Lime. The way he says Gemini. You mean Gemini? Isn't it pronounced Gemini? Let me read this again. Excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. Send all excavated Gemini monsters to the graveyard. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you do, apply one of the following effects according to the number of cards sent to the graveyard. Excavate, send all excavated Gemini monsters and place the rest on the bottom of your deck. Okay. So, you don't need to play Gemini monsters to use the Upstart Goblin effect. So, this would be excellent Gemini support, but it would also unfortunately fall into the realm of really good just generic support. Upstart without the downside, exactly. Too broken for my taste. Yeah, like the other effects, they're nice. It's just, it's unintentionally a better Upstart Goblin. However, if we balance this a little bit, if we balance it just a smidge, instead of a 0+ effect, what it could do is instead become a graveyard effect. Where if this card's in your graveyard, you can, I don't know, shuffle a Gemini monster back into your deck and banish this card in order to draw 1. That would balance it out. Or, you know, shuffle both of them back into the deck. Kind of like a Golden Evolution. Ultra Evolution. You know, that way it's not just something everyone can play, and it's still, you know, reusable in Gemini decks. Under those pretenses, the rest of it, it's fine. It's fine Gemini support. Although getting 3 of them to destroy your opponent's cards seems a little bit hard, but, you know, the 2 effect is really good. Next one. Sacrifices for the fortune. I assume this is a Gemini symbol. I don't know. I think it's astrology very well. To make it so you need 2 or more Gemini monsters in your field to trigger it. 2 or more. I think 1 would be fine. Yeah. But if you need a Gemini monster on the field to use the card, that immediately makes it, like, less usable. How about boss monsters? Are they on the list? Yeah, there was a couple of, like, boss link monsters. So, this card right here. Change cost to 1, cost 0. Yeah, I guess a 1. But the thing is, like, if you don't get any Gemini cards, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so. You think it means Gemini? Blessed to be alive. Never trust a Libra. Can you tell me my future? Sorry, it's a Gemini thing. I ain't no astrologist. Astronomist? I think it's astrology. Astrology's made up. Astronomy is real, right? I know one of them's pseudoscience and the other one is a hard science. Big difference. But they sound very similar. Once per turn. I don't even know if this is astrology. Is it? Is this astrology? That's what it is, right? Or am I thinking of something else? I'm pretty sure this is astrology. Once per turn, you can return a card you control to your hand. Special summon a level 4 or lower Gemini monster to your side of the field as an effect monster from your hand. They did confirm this on Twitter. Non-effect Gemini monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Whoa. During your standby phase, pay 500 life points or destroy this card. I don't think this really needs a maintenance cost. The effect is fine. Once per turn, you can return a monster to your hand to special summon a Gemini monster from your hand. Probably don't need that. However, the ability to return cards to your hand is actually a benefit most of the time. Yes, it's astrology. Yeah. And also cannot be destroyed by battle. Neat. This is a neat card. I mainly picked it because the artwork was pretty great. Next up. Oh, this one has really small text. Sorry, the delay on this is pretty large. So I'm getting all your things like 30 seconds late. Next up, this card is treated as normal monster while in the field or in the graveyard. When it's a normal monster, you can normal summon it to have an effect monster with this effect. This card gains 500 attack for every normal monster on both sides of the field or in the graveyard. This card is always treated as an effect monster, even when it leaves the field. What? Whoa, that's confusing. Because it is an effect monster when it leaves the field. Once per turn, you can activate one of the following effects. Special summon 2 Gemini monsters from your deck/hand except this card. After you activate this effect, you cannot perform link summoning this turn. You can only use this effect once per duel. Whoa. Right there. Special summon 2 Gemini monsters from your deck. Except this card. Gigaplant loops. It's only a once per duel, but man, this would be so good. It's even a plant type monster. Next effect. Banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Mirage King from your deck. Also, after the summon, normal summon all Gemini monsters in the field except this card. That's good. Until the end of your next main phase 1, after this card's banished, summons cannot be negated. Okay. That's weird protection, but it's always nice. So basically, this card allows you to go +3 and set up Gigaplant loops. So it's obviously ridiculously good. A Gigaplant loops, yeah. It's what's a Gigaplant loop? I'll show you. So Gigaplant is a real Gemini monster that exists. And it has the effect where once per turn, you can special summon an insect or plant monster from your hand or graveyard. It is only a soft once per turn, which means, for example, if you have a Gigaplant on the field and another Gigaplant on the field, and then one of the Gigaplants is sent to the graveyard with Cannon Soldier to inflict 500 life points of damage to your opponent, you can then use the other Gigaplant to bring out the Gigaplant that was just tributed. And then if it somehow gains its effect immediately, you can then just tribute the one who just used its effect, send it to the graveyard, inflict 500, and then use the new one to bring out the other one, and then just repeat. I could probably show it to you guys. Let me see here. What is the fastest way to pull off the Gigaplant loop? Lone Fire Blossom, Mass Driver, yeah, that's how you do it. And then the biggest thing is gaining their effects immediately. So there is a card, Gemini. Ooh, there's a new Gemini card. Ooh, when did they add this? So, Super Alloyed Beast Rat Patinus. And then let's go into a polymerization. Did I not spell poly right? No, I just gotta scroll back through all these. Polymerization. Okay. I think we're set up for Gemini loops. No one talking about Illblood loops? Illblood loops don't work. Illblood was designed competently. Man, I don't even know how to set up a Gemini loop immediately. So if we have this, and this, and this, and this, okay. Let's come over here. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. Test hand settings. Don't shuffle deck. No opponent. Start. Okay. So, first off, polymerization. These 2 cards. Then, Lone Fire Blossom. Activate Lone Fire Blossom. Bring out Gigaplant. Then, Gigaplant. into a Gigaplant. Then Mass Driver, in order to tribute the Gigaplant who just used its effect for 400. Then use Gigaplant to bring out Gigaplant. Then use Mass Driver to tribute off the one who just used its effect. Then use Gigaplant to bring out Gigaplant. Then use Mass Driver to get off the one who just used its effect. And then you just repeat infinitely. This is a Gigaplant loops. Banned Gigaplant loops. I can just show a replay next time it comes up. Okay. So, now you understand what people have been saying with Gigaplant loops. Currently, Gigaplant loops are fine because it's really hard to pull off. However, if Geminis ever get too much support where the Gigaplant loop is easy to pull off, then that's where problems come up. This one right here is basically a one card. Let's set up a Gigaplant loop. Busted. Okay. And only once that turn. I fucked up the card. I understand. No, I like the card. I wouldn't have picked the card if I didn't like it. I like busted cards. I was merely explaining to people why it was busted, because they don't understand the Gigaplant loop. It's great. I love it. Next one, Sparkling Golem. Let's see here. Custom cards, Edo Pro, let's hide that. Let's hide the arrow. Okay, I like this one. So, Sparkling Golem, level 4, rock type monster, basically Giga Golem. You can discard this card this turn. You can normal summon up to 2 Gemini monsters in addition to your normal summon / set. You only get this effect once per turn. Whoa, that's a strong hand effect. This card is treated normal monster visible in the field or in the graveyard. Normal summon it to have this effect. You can discard 1 Gemini monster, then banish 1 card in the field, and if you do, draw 1 card. This card's great. I love it. So, it's doing the thing where I praised it earlier, where like, you know, Gemini monsters are already effect monsters in your hand. Why not give them good hand effects? You know, that's what fixed Necros. Like, the whole reason Necros succeeded as a ritual deck is because all of the Necros monsters had hand effects. You know, why not do that for Gemini monsters? It's a good Gemini effect. 2 extra Gemini summons? Whoa. Well, and then the effect? Discard Gemini monster, banish card on field, then draw 1 card. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I love it. Next one. Sus Frog. I don't know what this card does. I just thought the name was funny. Aqua, Gemini, Tuner, Gemini monster, normal summon to have the effect. Twice per turn, you contribute a monster to special summon 1 frog monster from your deck. Frog monsters can't be destroyed by your opponent's cards, battles, or card effects. 1800 is kind of high for a level 2 monster, but that's fine. This is actually decent frog support. It's like Substitute, except not broken. DuelLogs, we want to hear your real voice? Okay. This is my real voice. This is the voice from my earliest videos. If I talk like this, you can barely hear me. And there's also lots of voice fry. And I spent years of practice to stop talking like this in front of people. However, if you want to hear my real voice, that only happens when I bring out my face reveal, which I already done. Next one, Phoenix Magician. So, this one right here. It's a pendulum monster, level 4. I think they did a great job photoshopping this. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Gemini monsters, normal or fire monsters. This effect cannot be negated. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Gemini monster in addition to your normal summon or set. This right here. This is great. You see, someone said earlier in the stream that the best way to fix Gemini monsters would be to make a spell card that basically, you know, gives them an extra normal summon or it allows them to be effect monsters on the field. However, I think it's 10 times better to put that effect on a pendulum effect. The reason being, pendulum monsters are infinitely easier to search out than spell cards. If you're going to create a card that allows monsters to be treated as, effect monsters when they're Gemini monsters, or to give them extra really good effects, attach those to pendulum monsters. That is the perfect way to do it, because pendulum monsters are so much easier to search out. Because it's basically like having a continuous spell card effect on the field, but being able to search it out with a plethora of monster search. This is the way to do it. I think Geminis are the future. Pendulums are the future of Gemini decks. That field card exists, Cataclysm field. I know. However, pendulum monster is much better to attach it to than a spell card. And then its effects. This card is treated as normal monster or face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is normal monster in the field, you can normal summon it to have an effect monster gain this effect, gain 400 attack. If this card destroys a monster, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add one Gemini monster or one spell or trap that specifically mentions Gemini monster's attack from your deck to your hand. This effect is a lot better on the Pendulum Magicians because it can be destroyed in the Pendulum scale and gain this effect. It can only gain this effect if it's destroyed after it's Pendulum summoned. So not as good as the Pendulum Magician counterpart it's based on. However, this is a really good showcase. Pendulum monsters are the future of granting old archetypes excellent support. The way I fix Geminis is making them pendulums with hand effects. So pendulums with hand effects, wow. That's also a great idea. I didn't even think of that. Designing one, it's a searchable with pendulum call. Exactly. Yeah. This is how you fix Geminis. I keep getting pendulums and Geminis mixed up. One of them is like so ridiculous that Konami nerfed the hell out of it with Master Rule 4, and the other one is a gimmick mechanic that no one uses. Pendulums and Geminis, of course. Okay, so this one, Gemini Magician. Each turn, one level 5 or higher Gemini monster you normal summon can be summoned without tributing. If you pendulum summon one or more Gemini monsters, all face-up Gemini monsters currently become effect monsters and gain their effects. Whoa. Performing a pendulum summon is the trigger to grant their effects. This is great because it allows you to give your Gemini monsters all their effects and can't be used with Gigaplant loops. That's amazing. This one is well done. I don't know if this was intentionally made to prevent Gigaplant loops while also being useful to Gemini monsters, but it works. It works really well too. And its effect, normal monster, blah, 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 gains 500 attack. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, quick effect, you can target a normal or Gemini monster in your graveyard, or that is face up in your extra deck, and add it to your hand. Whoa. So it's like a true Draco effect. That's great. It's a good card. These two are excellent. I also really like the art too. That's actually really good. Yeah, these are great. Next one, I like this one. Feel My Pain. At the start of your opponent's main phase, you can discard one Gemini monster. Until the end phase, all effect monsters in both players' main decks and both players' hands become Gemini monsters. You can only use one Feel My Pain per duel. Basically, this is a floodgate that turns your opponent's monsters into Geminis. And the reason it's good is because Geminis suck. This would be I wouldn't say such a strong floodgate because it requires you to discard a pendulum monster. A Gemini monster, excuse me. But I love it. I love the idea behind this. It's an incredibly strong floodgate that's only usable in Gemini decks. And the way it floodgates your opponent is by turning your opponent's monsters into Gemini monsters. Really good without being broken, yeah. I admittedly not considered the Gigaplant loop. I forgot about the Gigaplant loop until this started. Like, I started off this stream talking about how Neo's Alias was the best Gemini monster until someone reminded me of Gigaplant. I was like, oh yeah, I'm dumb. It's actually Gigaplant. That's the best Gemini monster in the game. I love this. This is super funny. This doubles as Gemini support and also is just really funny. Next one. I love this card right here. Not as much as the last one. That one's one of my favorites. Actually, one of my favorites is Vegan Maneater Bug and the last one because they're just really funny while you know, fitting the theme of Gemini effects. So, next one. This field spell card, Chem Critters would still be bad if this card was real. During your main phase, or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can pay 500 life points. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Gemini monster or 1 normal monster. But if you control no Chem Critter monsters, you can only normal summon Chem Critter monsters with this effect. Okay. When this card is sent to the graveyard, activate 1 Cataclysm field from your deck or graveyard. During your main phase, quick effect, you can send this card you control to the graveyard. During the main phase, Chem Critter monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. If a Chem Critter cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So, if you look at all the cards in here, first we have Ultimate Offering. So, during your main phase or battle phase, or your opponent's battle phase, excuse me, you can pay 500 life points. Immediately after it resolves, normal summon a Gemini or normal monster. But if you control no Chem Critters, you can only normal summon Chem Critter monster. It's basically Ultimate Offering, but for Geminis. And tries really hard to balance it, and I think it does a decent job at it. It might still be really strong, but if it's limited to only Chem Critters or Gemini monsters, then the only thing I can see it being broken with is Gigaplant Loops. Which I think is fine because you need to pay 500 life points each time you're inflicting 500 life points with Cannon Soldier. Unless you go with a triple Gigaplant Loop, which would allow you to do this. Next up, it has basically Miscellaneous Source's effect. You can send it to the graveyard to give you immunity, and then it has Bailings' effect where it's protection in the graveyard. You know, hey, just give it 3 really strong effects. Still wouldn't make him usable. I don't know about that. Like, anything that simulates Ultimate Offering's effect is probably going to be strong. Next one. Soul Eater, Tsuka. So, this card's a normal monster on the field or face up on the, blah, blah, blah. No, wait. This monster is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in your graveyard. Its name is also treated as Soul Eater while it's face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is face up on the field, you can normal summon to be treated as an effect monster with this effect. If the Law of the Normal is activated and successfully destroys cards that aren't normal monsters, inflict damage to your opponent equal to every normal monster you control's combined attack. This effect can only be used once per duel. Okay. I love this card because it has to interact with the Law of the Normal. However, you wouldn't be able to activate Law of the Normal if this card was on the field and was treated as an effect monster. That's the problem. It is a level 2 normal monster normally. However, if it's treated as an effect monster, so you can't resolve Law of the Normal, which is the problem. So, in order to easily fix this, would be this card is still treated as a normal monster while it's on the field. That could just be part of its effect. Or it can be treated as a normal monster for the purposes of Law of the Normal. It's an easy fix because this is a custom card. In that case, inflicting the damage to your opponent equal to their attack would be great because one of the problems with Law of the Normal is actually being able to inflict 8,000 points of damage after resolving the effect. And it's level 2, so it works with Chem Critter support. Yeah. Next card. Have you read Chem Critters? Yeah, I know. They're not very good. I like this one. This one's basically Max C, but for Geminis. What is Law of the Normal? Oh, how do you guys not know what Law of the Normal is? I've failed as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creator. What's Law of the Cosmos? Law of the Normal. If you control 5 level 2 or lower normal monsters, both players discard all cards in their hand to destroy all of the cards on the field except level 2 or lower normal monsters. It's basically a full board and hand wipe. On the condition that you have 5 level 2 or lower normal monsters. I love this card, and it's probably one of my favorites. So, this one right here, Chem Critter Boron Beehive. During either player's turn, you can discard this card to the graveyard. During your next turn, you can normal summon Gemini monsters up to the number of times your opponent special summons after this card resolves. But you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck that turn, except monsters that require at least 1 Gemini monster as a material. So, It's basically Max C with giving you a whole bunch of normal summons during your next turn, except for Gemini monsters, and even has reasonable restrictions where you can't use them for a whole bunch of extra deck plays. This is, it's pretty good. DuelLogs, since I missed your post to submit Gemini support, can I quickly send you one of my Pendulum Geminis with the hand effect? No, it's too late. Plus, people sent in, like, I don't review every single card sent in because there's too many of them. So, there's always going to be some cards that I miss anyway. Let me see here. How many do I have left? Just 2 more. Okay. Let's do the last 2 because my throat's starting to run out. I chose too many cards again. Archfiend Brain. This card is true as normal monster will face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to become an effect monster with this effect. During either player's main phase, target 1 monster your opponent controls with a level, quick effect, equip this card to that monster as an equipped spell card, and take control of it. The equipped monster is treated as a tuner, and also cannot attack, and its effects are negated. You can only use this effect once per turn. So basically, it's a spell speed 2, steal one of your opponent's monsters effects. However, it's a Gemini card, which makes it balanced, because Gemini suck. I miss Fade videos, me too. So it's great. Next one. Chemcritter Bonding Agent. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Gemini monsters. This effect cannot be negated. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Gemini monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Oh yeah. This is another one I added because it has a great pendulum effect. I forgot what its effect even is. This card is true as a normal monster on the field or in the graveyard. Normal summon to be treated as an effect monster with this effect. All Gemini monsters you control gain 400 attack. If another Gemini monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target of this card, and if you do, the attack monster loses 500 attack. You can use this effect once per turn. Yeah, this one's 100% chosen because it has an excellent pendulum effect. I actually saw this one before I saw the Pendulum Magicians. It's just it got automatically ordered to the bottom of the list for some reason. Is there a Gemini Xyz monster? There was one sent in, just one. Okay, so as a broken card, yeah, it's great. The spell speed 2, steal one of your opponent's cards effects. That's all of them. My voice needs a break because I feel like I'm about to lose it. Even though I only talked for like an hour and a half. All right, so next time for the next custom card review. Custom cards. Where's the custom review submit text? Okay, so for the next one, I'll again put up suggestions in a community post and then let people vote on it, and then I'll put the winning idea up on Twitter. And then that's when you can send in cards. I don't know what the next one's going to be. So suggestions and all that stuff. Until next time, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go watch